Hello and welcome. This should be a pretty quick video. I just drew wheels all week. That was pretty much it. So here I'm going to play it through and just make a few comments about things I noticed. I wanted to draw more wheels because from last week when I tried to draw cars, I realized how difficult it actually ends up being. So I wanted to spend some time actually focusing on observing them and trying to understand exactly why they were so difficult for me. I started off by drawing a box and then just trying to draw ellipses inside of it, touching all four corners. This is pretty good practice to control ellipse creation. My ellipses aren't bad freehand, at least when I give them time, but they definitely could be better. This is alright though, ellipses are very difficult to do, especially freehand. However, something you'll notice as we go farther and farther in is that I actually get steadily worse at doing them over time. This is mostly due to me just kind of getting tired, or at least I think so. That'll be my excuse at least. Anyway, I was just trying to acknowledge the different shapes that compose the wheel and I don't know, trying to just figure out how I want to break down approaching them. Right now when I'm doing one from the side, I realize that you don't really communicate as much with a wheel that's directly facing from the side. So this like 3/4 view where you can kind of see part of the front and part of the side seems to be one of the best angles. At least when drawing them in isolation like right now, it's kind of the best angle for communicating what it is. Anyway, I kept on practicing. I drew a few more sketches. Each one kind of was pretty off and I wasn't too happy with them. There's definitely varying levels of success with the first few starting ellipses, and then I have a lot of difficulty with all of the internal ones. Trying to do nested ellipses, especially like slightly offset with how the wheel is, like the hubcap is supposed to be, is definitely a little bit more difficult than I gave it credit for, I'm not gonna lie. Now, all that you're seeing right now is kind of just me going at it my own way, at least starting. I didn't want to start with some sort of tutorial or something that was showing me like a good way to break down the wheel, since I want to be able to practice doing that myself. However, I was very aware that my process was probably fundamentally flawed and I was like missing certain parts of it. So I was just gonna keep on doing a few different wheels and then eventually switch, go watch a tutorial, see how somebody else breaks it down, and then try to learn from that. I think this process is a fundamentally pretty good one since it lets you learn from other people's success after you've tried your own. So it kind of helps you train thinking through it by yourself, while also getting the benefit of, seeing what somebody else does. As per usual, I got caught up in some details that probably didn't matter as much, like the spokes of this hubcap. Some of my ellipses turned out pretty good on this one, with, the last one where I was the most tired, the outer one kind of ruining things. Oh well. I went back to trying to draw boxes for the wheels, and then drawing the lips inside of it. You'll notice I'm struggling to draw that ellipse a lot more inside of both of these boxes, or at least it felt like that for both of these. This one turned out very, very skewed. I gave up pretty quickly on it because the initial ellipse was so bad. I was getting kind of frustrated with my ability to draw ellipses, so I just drew this box and just kind of kept on circling inside of it, trying to hit the boundaries of the box. It should be pretty obvious that my accuracy is not the greatest with these kind of things. Alright, this final wheel, it was pretty much just pure observation. I had watched a tutorial at this point, and so I had noticed a few things about how they broke down the wheel. It was a lot of the same stuff that I had seen myself, like the offset ellipses for one. And it's just a lot of ellipses. The main difference being that they used an ellipse tool to practice it so that they didn't have to worry about drawing perfect ellipses. I still want to be able to draw ellipses well, or at least better than what I can currently do. But at least for a study of the wheel, this kind of made sense to use an ellipse tool, since the whole goal is to kind of just observe and create off of the observation and not necessarily just get caught up in trying to make that perfect ellipse. It still feels like cheating to me though. Obviously this one turned out much better. The treading I definitely could have done more evenly, but I was kind of just quickly putting down where it would be. Since the tool created ellipses are so smooth, following them along with hand done details on the inside is also much easier. Oh, and making that inner tread in the center of the wheel is also so much easier. I think this is a pretty good indication of what I'm able to see versus what I'm actually able to do. It's an interesting comparison. If you look at the wheel on the left, that's pretty much just like what I'm actually able to do with my own ability to draw an ellipse freehand. While the right one, since it's using a tool, is more like my direct observational skill. But anyway, yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.